Good afternoon, Star Wars and unboxing fans, and welcome to another episode of Darth Tuba Star Wars Unboxing Show. Please sure to check out all my other videos, playlists, and check me out on YouTube, Facebook, unboxing page, Instagram, and Twitter, as I said every week. So, as I mentioned, we are going to begin the deconstruction of the haul that was Force Friday 2, which took place on September 1st, 2nd, and 3rd this year, 2017. There was quite a few items that went out there and a lot of wonderful product. I have to say, from my own personal experience, I feel that the amount of product seemed, at least where I live, to be increased in comparison to years past, to Rogue Friday and the first Friday the year before that. And I was very happy with it. I was able to grab all of the 3 3/4 inch that were as part of the first wave to go out. I was able to grab quite a few of the Black Series 6-inch figures and some vehicles, some Hot Wheels, a little bit of everything. And there was still plenty of product on the shelves when I walked away, which is a good thing because we want to make sure that everybody gets a chance to do it. But as I mentioned in the last video, this is not something that's going to take up every single moment of the next, umpteen videos. We're going to kind of bop back and forth since there are still three months until The Last Jedi movie finally hits theaters, and I'm sure there'll be even more product to come out between now and then. So we have a couple other little fun things we're going to do in between, so bear with us. Right now, what I want to do is kind of talk about a few things here. First is we'll start with the largest item here. We have our Resistance A-Wing fighter. Kind of cool that they're bringing back another vintage ship. And we have about 6 of the figures. I'm actually not going to open up presently. I'm not going to open up everything. I do have some room in my display where I display some carded figures. Later on I might decide to open them up. We'll see. The figures I chose were figures I felt that were unique enough to The Last Jedi that I thought would be kind of interesting. With the exception of Kylo Ren, and Rey, because they are both characters that existed, and 3PO. But I also felt like the reason I wanted to have some familiarity, and not just new characters, is because of this item. Okay, and this is the, whoa, almost dropped it, Force Link starter set, which actually comes with another Kylo Ren. So now that I know that I have this one, I'm actually going to put this one to the side, and we'll open that one maybe another day. Okay, and the reason I have this is because this is a thing where it says, wear your Force Link to activate lights, sounds, and more in 30 plus toys. Okay, so it works for figures, it works for vehicles, it works for some smaller play sets, bigger play sets, lots of things. So pretty cool stuff. So I am very excited to try to demonstrate all of that. Okay, so, but before I get to that, I wanted to show this one to you. This is a little envelope, and it is a poster set that I believe when you went into a Disney store on Force Friday, the first 100 purchases, and I love that they do this, the first 100 purchases get this poster set. Now, what I'm going to do, just before we start opening up figures, I'm going to move these guys to the side here so you can get a kind of a look-see at these. A lot of stores just had the first giveaways that they would do the first, while supplies last, the first 100 people or whatever that came in. I like that Disney said the first 100 purchases, and I think they even might have restricted it to the first 100 purchases of Star Wars items in some places. I like that because it really takes these items and at least will share them with the people that are the most interested in having them. Okay, being that they're small, they're mini posters, it doesn't make a lot of sense to give them to just the average person who walks in the door. A lot of them might just take them and shove them right in recycling. Or you take it to the first person or first 10 people or first 100 people that are in the door at a midnight event. A lot of them might be trying to score exclusives that they're going to try to sell on eBay later on. This offers you a great chance to have a set of individual posters. And what posters are they, you might ask? Well, they are the red thematic posters, okay? That red theme where they're all dressed in red. Okay, we have, of course, first we have Luke Skywalker. And then we have Kylo Ren. I'm going to do this without the glare. We have Rey. We have Poe Dameron. We have Leia. And we have Finn. So these are the 6 posters. They look like they run about 11 by 14. Or sorry, 8.5 by 14, excuse me. Maybe a little bit smaller. But they're really great. They're suitable for framing. There are 6 of them, so you can probably frame them all together in one big frame. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them yet. I'm going to put them back in the envelope and kind of wait and see what I want to do with them. But I thought they were really cool. I think of all of the different promotional items, that was among one of my favorites. Another one that I don't have with me to show you is the Target. Target had a red drawstring bag, but it said, bring your Rey game, which I thought was clever. But there was no Star Wars on the bag itself other than the words bring your Rey game, which could be anything. They did include a couple of buttons, and they had a silhouette of Rey, profile, a Star Wars and Target symbol, and another bring your Rey game wording on a black button. So that was a neat thing too. I think the posters were a little bit better, so that's my feeling on it. All right, enough talk about the posters. Let's move on. Let's start right away with the Force Link, because what I'm hoping to do is I'm hoping to be able to quickly open up all these other figures and see how they work in relationship to the Force Link. Now this is a wristband, looks like. Oh, looks like I just took off Kylo Ren's. Okay, easy enough. And there's instructions. And it looks like Kylo comes with his token lightsaber, as well as I said, his cape. All right, so let's get him together. So looks like the Force Link is a technology that is a similar technology. If there's any of those older fans out there, might recall the. Come on, Kylo, stand up. Stand up. Kylo's being difficult. He's being whiny. Stop being whiny. Man, I gotta bend this. Yeah, he's gonna have to well, he's still not fully up, all right. Not a good start, but what I will say is this. This is a very similar type of product to what was released in 1999 for Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. And that was the Star Wars Comtech chip and Comtech reader. And essentially, that was essentially and I think I've actually shown some of this in previous videos, but it was essentially a box, looked like one of the a large version of their communicator, and you can place the figures on top of the box. And if each figure that came out during that, for that year and even a few years prior to that or post that, each figure came with a little stand that had a Comtech chip in it, which could do some, when you put the figure on the stand and put the stand on top of the Comtech reader, it would actually say dialogue from the film, and they would interact with each other, and they would do some sound effects. It works. Now, the only problem with it was a cool technology, all right, but the only problem with it at the time was that the sound quality was pretty primitive, and it had kind of a robotic sound. They all sounded like a speak and spell or something of that nature. So this is a different take on it. It's kind of a similar thing. Now, unfortunately, these are obviously not designed for little hands, but it looks like if you get a little bit of. Okay, I'm gonna put this in. Gotta tighten this up a little bit. Okay. All right. So tap Force Link to turn on. Okay, that worked. Pick up figure to activate.
Show me again. The power of the darkness. You know what I've come for. Where is it? I will let nothing stand in our way.
That's pretty cool.
Put every hanger on lockdown.
Okay, so frankly, I have to be honest with you. That's pretty cool. I have to say, that is a cool idea. I am very impressed with that. So, what I'll do now, it's gonna be weird doing this with my wrist thing on here, but actually, you know what? I think it'll be easier if I take this off right away and quickly just open up the figures, because it'll be easier to do it that way. So. Now, I gotta say, ooh, what do they come with here? Oh, so looks like they all. Oh, this is cool. So each figure even comes with the Comtech. I keep calling it Comtech. The Force Link instructions, which is really nice, because the Force Link instructions, you know, it might be a little weird to try to figure out how that works. So we have Rey Jedi training. I'm loving how this includes a whole plethora of accessories, but nothing too crazy. There are versions that you can do, you know, that they do a little more than that, but we got the little gun that Han gave her. Glad to see that that's still here. You've got the what's it called? The Rey staff that can go around her like this, and you've got her lightsaber. And it's very nice that we have the Rey figure right away, and it wasn't something that took too long. You know, took second or third wave. And our last. Oh no, let's take a look at. Why do we have C-3PO? Well, some would argue, well, this C-3PO has the gold arm, and in Episode 7, there was no gold arm. So. But at the same time, I feel as though that's a little, you know, easy way to sell a toy. All right, this is the one I'm excited about. My Luke Skywalker. Finally. I mean, this is a Luke Skywalker. You could argue that it's an Episode 7 Luke Skywalker, because he was basically wearing the exact same thing. Okay, we'll do close-up shots at the end. But, even better, you know, it works for Episode 8. Take off the cloak so you can see what he's looking like. Pretty cool. All right, it is 5 points articulation, so it's a little bit weird there, you know, with his legs, but a nice figure no less. Now, I will say this, I guess, in the case, since this is the first time I've done an unboxing prior to a movie, or at least one that has, you know, some spoilers in it, like, for example, so I should say, this is a spoiler alert. I don't believe they're terrible spoilers. I think they're just minor spoilers, but they're spoilers nonetheless. Okay, well, here we have Paige, which is, I believe, Rose and Paige are sisters. Rose is a new character, and I think Paige is an Imperial pilot. So they made a figure for her, and I'm liking the fact that. Looks like you have the option of putting on the mask, like the helmet. I'm going to just put the helmet on her head like this. Oh, nope. I'm going to do it like this. Even with the 5 points articulation, they've done a really good job of giving really nice detail to these figures. So, be curious to see what Paige has to say. Hopefully she says something. I wonder sometimes if there's going to be a limitation on some stuff to avoid spoilers of the movie, but you know what? So many things, it's so much out of context. I know, for me personally, and this is Rose, when I am, you know, trying to figure out, oh gosh, these little tiny, I'm like, they come with these little, I am not kidding, these little, so easy to lose accessories. Is there a place to put this in her pocket? Anything? No? Now, apparently Rose is some type of like a, I'm a nobody kind of thing, and she has a little hero worship going on with Finn. So who knows? We'll see where that goes. It looks like everything's holding good. They're improving that. The only one that was having trouble standing was apparently Kylo Ren, which you would think he's the villain. He should at least be able to stand. All right, I'm gonna put this back on. Oop, did I? There we go. Interesting. Okay, that was weird. Let's see if I'm missing something when it comes to pick up figure. That's weird. Pick up figure to activate phrases. Something's. We have a technical difficulty here. I'm afraid to say. I'm not 100% sure what the deal is. I'm going to try not.
I feel the force. You will release me. I feel the force. I feel the force. I'm not giving you anything. You will release me.
Okay, pretty cool.
Hi, I'm C-3PO, Human-Cyborg Relations.
Ah.
Hi, I'm C-3PO, Human-Cyborg Relations. Oh my! It would take a miracle to save us now. Without the Republic fleet, we're doomed. The chances of survival are 725 to 1.
It's interesting. They're using some old dialogue because you could hear that was C-3PO from Empire Strikes Back because of the echo.
Without the Republic fleet, we're doomed.
All right, cool. Let's see what they have with this one.
May the Force be with you. May the Force be with you.
You're leaving.
May the Force be with you.
All right, we get that.
Come, I'll show you the true meaning of the Force. Trust your instincts. Come, I'll show you the true meaning of the Force. Trust your instincts. Leave this place. Stay back. Come, I'll show you the true meaning of the Force.
So more dialogue. I don't think. I think it's exciting. Now let's see if I can put this back on my wrist and do this. It's pretty cool stuff, guys. I gotta admit, it's pretty cool. I mean, I know some people are like, "Oh, you're taking the imagination away," and I'm like, guys.
Orders received.
Making like a. Yeah, I don't know. Whoops. I don't know why. Like it's a little hit or miss. It could be because of the size of my hand. Yeah, I don't know. Let's try Rose. Nope. Yeah, it's a little bit hit or miss, I must say.
Orders received. My sensors are picking up ties.
If you hold
Brace
it,
yourself.
if you hold it like this,
We have to tackle the First Order head on. I'm not giving up now. We have to tackle the First Order head on. My sensors are picking up ties. Brace yourself.
it's funny. Like it's almost in some ways it's kind of like that randomness of a. Oops.
I can fix anything.
Oops. Except.
We have a mission to complete. You can't give up on the Resistance. We have a mission to complete.
Pretty cool stuff.
Blast him.
All right, so I think it might be. Obviously, it's not designed for an adult hand. It's designed for young hands, so that could be part of it. So I find if you're having any issues with it, you can try putting it on. I mean, everybody's wrists are different sizes, but I find that if you just hold the figure like this with it, all right, you should be okay. All right, so those are the some of the figures. Now, of course, I'm curious as to how the tech works, because I wonder, I mean, obviously the sound is coming from here. So I'm always wondering, okay, is there something embedded in the figures that's doing this? I'm assuming yes. But it'd be kind of cool if it was something, I don't know if it's a chip kind of thing or whatever, but it would be kind of cool if you could go back and pick up old figures and have things happen, like kind of retro, if this could somehow do that. But I'm not 100% sure. So, all right, last thing we got. I know this one's running a little bit, but we have the A-Wing fighter. Now, there are a couple of vehicles that came out, but I'm going old school with the A-Wing, just because it was cool to see a new take on an old favorite. And the funny thing is that the A-Wing has had a unique history because among Star Wars collectors, because it was one of the first figure vehicles, or one of the only vehicles, not first, one of the only vehicles to come out during. It was supposed to come out for Return of the Jedi when those figures were out, and they kind of held it off until I believe this. I could be mistaken on some of this. So anybody knows the more minute details, feel free to correct me in the comments. But it came out for the Droid series, I think. Okay, I think it was going to come out for there was, Star Wars Empire Jedi, then they had the Power of the Force line, and then that died, and then it went to the Droid series. And, it was a great piece, and it was used a little bit in the TV show, but it was, the Droid series only lasted one season, so therefore the Droids figures that came out and all of the corresponding vehicles only lasted a little bit of time, and of course consequently they are now extremely rare and hard to get. I actually ended up trading, I had one, and I actually ended up trading it for a vintage figure, and mine was broken, but I ended up trading it for a vintage figure, and it was I don't really regret it. It was one of those things where I feel like it wasn't the best of shape, and they since have come up with some really great other, several other versions of them that are actually better. I get it from a vintage standpoint, but all right. And then lastly, we got to activate our. Now it looks like okay, cool. So looks like we have to pick it up. Now this could be tricky because I kind of have to have it on. So I'll have to see how we do here. Okay, and then okay, that's kind of cool.
Reporting in, Squadron Leader. Let's do some damage! Here they come! Let's do some damage!
Alright, that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Now, some might argue that there's not a lot of imagination being left, but I'd say my argument to that was that, toys have always been about being playable, and as long as there's playability in a toy, I don't think we'll have any issue whatsoever. So, as I said, a great Force Friday haul. This is just one set of a bunch of other things. We are gonna do some unboxing for some of that, but we'll temper it with some other things as things come in and whatnot. So, but there's plenty of stuff out there to go around. So, real excited. So thrilled for The Last Jedi to come out. I don't know. I think hearing Luke Skywalker talk, and I think saying stuff that was not from any of the other movies is really exciting. So that will do it for this kind of extended edition of Darth Tuba Star Wars Unboxing Show. Again, be sure to check out all my videos and like, subscribe, share, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at Darth Tuba. Email me, darthtuba77@gmail.com. So excited to continue doing unboxings for all this new product, and I'm very much looking forward to it. And thank you very much for watching, and may the Force be with you.